Hey guys, hello everyone. Hope you can see me and you can hear. Can you drop a plus in the chat if everything is good? If you can see me, you can hear. Okay. I hope there is just a lag with the internet, I know this streaming and so on and so forth, but I hope everything is fine and we can finally start our last session. Yeah. Maybe hopefully, maybe not. I don't know, but I want to start to say that yeah, it's Thursday evening. Maybe finally, maybe no, I don't know. So I know maybe of us already, starting to look forward to the weekend, maybe to get some rest, maybe to get some fun. Maybe you also already have some fun plans. I don't know, that's up to you. But before we get there to Saturday and Sunday, I'm really glad that you've made it. You've joined today and you're with me with this final session of our course. And I hope that you are ready to stay focused for just a little bit longer. I mean, no, it's not going to be 45 or 50 minutes like it was previous time, only 30, but still. Yeah, so to say, because today's topic is one that truly makes a difference and that truly um, has lots of space to cover, so to say. So, we're going to talk about job interviews. And I don't just mean answering these questions or memorizing phrases for job interviews. Today, we will talk about, we will learn how to present yourself in a way that feels natural, confident, and authentic. So we will cover with you how to answer this, typical but still tricky questions that often catch candidates as off guard. So we just don't know what to say, what to answer, right? Then we'll talk about how to sell yourself in English, the job interview, without sounding this fake or ChatGPT like, or like people used to say Google Translate like. Now we say ChatGPT like. So the world is moving anyway. And also, what to say when you don't know the answer, or how to explain a gap or a weak spot in your experience. So I will show some real examples. Of course, you know that I always show some real stuff without any made up and so on and so forth. So take a sip of tea or coffee, whatever you drink, settle in, and let's get started, because this session might be just, might just help you real a lot more confidence in the next interview. That's why, yeah. So let's finally start. And let's start by looking at what actually makes IT job interviews different and honestly trickier sometimes. You see that first, they don't just want to hear what you've done. So it's not about that. They want to understand how you think. So you see the first one. So focus on how you think, not just what you did. Imagine you're explaining your logic to a teammate who is joining your project for the first time. So that's the vibe. They want to find the person with the same vibe, with the same logic, with the same streamline. The next one, I mean, the second, you will often need to explain complex stuff in simple words, because your interviewer might not be as technical as you are. And this is where this clear communication becomes just as important as technical skills. Remember, we talked in the previous lesson how to speak the same language with our stakeholders and clients. So that can be also the case when we need to maybe not speak with the difficult terms, with this jargon and so on, but trying to explain it simply. Third, and this is key, IT interviewers aren't just about hard skills. I've said it so many times. I've told this so many times throughout our sessions. Your soft skills, like how you handle feedback, explain risks, um, how active enough you're listening to other people. What about your resilience? What about your critical thinking? And so on and so forth. I mean, all that soft skills, they really matter. Sometimes even more than than hard skills. Yeah, the Freud slip, sorry. And finally, clear, structured answers will help you stand out. No matter how good your skills are, if your answers are just messy, your interviewer can't follow your thinking. And that can be a game changer, unfortunately. So, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I wanted to share with you one more fun fact that I actually learned while I was preparing for the session. Google once asked candidates how they estimate the number of, okay, that was fun, how they estimate the number of piano tuners in Chicago. That's a strange one. And not because they cared about pianos in Chicago, but because they wanted to see how people break down the problem. And that's what actually we are going to talk about today. So put a plus in the charts if everything is fine, you can hear me all good, you understand my points, and you're ready to start. Plus, no minuses, just pluses. You feel good. Mm-hmm. Okay. So keep on silent Thursday. Thank you. I see pluses. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. And let's talk about one of those classic IT interview moments, the failure questions. You know, this one like, tell me about the time you failed. It sounds simple, but honestly, this is where the majority of candidates just freeze. The trick is that the interviewers aren't looking to catch you out. I mean, tell me about where you failed. You can't be doing any fails in the past, yeah. But they want to see how you handle reality, so to say, because in tech things go wrong all the time. I mean, in every field things go wrong all the time, and how you respond is that is what matters. By the way, again, some fun facts. You know, I love sharing fun facts with you because I read some of them before this session. According to LinkedIn talent blog, over 70% of hiring managers in IT say that they care more about how you handle setbacks than your hard skills when they're hiring like junior roles. And that's huge, like 70%. Can you imagine that? So let me show you. Okay. Okay, I'll comment on it later. So good. Let me show you the example. Actually, you know the structure. I mean, we all do. Maybe you heard it for so many times before, but believe me, when it comes to practice, uh, this is when you start stumbling upon the words. So I'm gonna tell you about that once again, and we will look through the structure really once again. So this is STAR method: situation, task, action, result. And let's talk about, tell me about the time you failed. So first of all, we state the situation. Like here, during my internship, I underestimate the time for API integration testing. You state the situation. Then you get the task. What was your task? Like, I was responsible for delivering a working feature for a client's dashboard. Yeah, so that was, you see, you are not trying to make it sound wordy or overly complicated with some facts. No, you just state one sentence. That's it. One sentence that makes sense. So my task was to deliver working feature, or my task was to, for a client dashboard. Then the action. What do you actually do? So I flagged the risk early to my team. Yeah, you may say it this way. Collaborated with the backend developer and adjusted the timeline. And as a result, the client got a stable product on time, not just a minute chaos. And my manager, and like something else. Or as a result, as you see here, we avoided last minute surprise and delayed client approval, and so on and so forth. So give them the result. They want to see how you look through all these steps mentioned, the STAR method, how you go through this line. Because I'm sure that you've heard that storytelling, it's one more, I would say, even hard skill that we have to learn when speaking about ourselves, because the way we storytell about our experience makes sense more about hard skills. I will tell once again, maybe several times more. And notice how I say, I don't say actually I failed, but I'm showing my responsibility, my teamwork, and solution. And that's what they want to hear. And now I actually want to comment on one corner. Amazing. Come on, it's not rocket science. All you gotta do is to convince them that you know everything, can do anything, that you never make any mistakes, and there's not better than you in the whole world. Okay. I like your enthusiasm and confidence. You give this go-getter attitude. That's amazing, and clear goal, of course. So that's just amazing. But also we might show them some proofs over just bold claims, we're great, or anything. And also there's a need to balance this. I try to comment on it confidently and professionally, so not to giggle at it. So you need to still balance this confidence with humanity. Yeah, confidence is great, but still humanity builds rapport. That's why, I commented on it. That's good. Okay, let's move on. The next one, how do you handle tight deadlines? I hate this one. So it's a test not just of your skill, you see, but how you manage pressure. They check how you work under pressure, because nowadays that it's not enough to say that I'm stress resistant. Yeah, it's good, but you can showcase it with the STAR method again. Like here, like in my internship, we had just 2 weeks to deliver a new client dashboard feature, the situation. Then we have a task. Like my task was to build the UI and ensure it worked well with the backend. And my action, what I actually did, I focused on key tasks first, synced daily with teammates, and suggested past pointing and my enhancement. So enumerate what your tasks, what you actually did were, and result. What was the result? Highlighted. So we delivered on time. That was good. And the client demo went smoothly. Silence. I delegate the task to my. On Sunday, I hate my past self that actually delegated the tasks on Friday to my future self on Monday. I hate myself, but we got sidetracked. Sorry. So you see that what hiring managers really want to hear there is that you can stay calm under pressure and communicate clearly and still make smart decision even if you're under pressure, and exactly what IT work demands. I mean, you understand that, right? So now it's your turn. I want you to take situation, task, action, result stuff and try to answer this question with your own examples. And that can be anything. So take your time, like up to 1 minute, 90 seconds. And just talk about something. Okay. Every time when I have this moments where I need to just give you some time and there appears some awkward pause, I think, maybe I can put here some music on, this lo-fi music just to relax, or put some memes to discuss on the slide. So yeah. By the way, how I would personally answer it, I also need to think about it. My biggest weakness. Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud while I'm waiting for your answers. That's good. Okay, still waiting. So, okay, I see. My biggest weakness, I am too kind with people. You're too empathetic, right? Um, I may not say it's a weakness, it's actually a strong side. So, but how can you suggest it with the situation, task, action, result? So think how you can point it out. For example, about my biggest weakness, I can tell you that one area I'm actively working on and I'm trying to work on all the time, all my life, this is time management. Maybe you noticed that on our previous session that took us 15 minutes instead of 30 minutes, unfortunately, because in the past, I sometimes took on too many tasks at once because I wanted to be as helpful as possible, as productive as possible. And I've learned to prioritize better, to break work into clear steps and use uh, planning tools. I mean, lots of planning tools, but I chose some particular for myself for more convenience and become more consistent to stay focused on what matters most. And this has really helped me become more efficient and balanced in my work. So this is how I, for example, would tell you about my weakness. So I see that not that many of the stuff. Okay. I think that we can proceed. So yeah, here is the star one. The next, what is actually important is how you sell yourself. I know how it sounds. Anyway, um, and why this, template on the slide is just the straight points. Interviewers don't remember bullet points. They don't remember your facts that you're saying. They remember the moments that made them sit up and listen. They remembered your storytelling when you used it. So let me show you how you can, change your strength into a storytelling that can catch. So here, you can pick a template that feels natural. For technical strength, you might start with like, one of my key strengths is writing clean, maintainable code. Yeah, like here. And which helped me when, so highlight, when did you use this skill actually? So it helped me when I refactored legacy module, which reduced blah, blah, blah. So this is actually a chunk, a template that you can use and keep in mind when they're asked, okay, what are your strengths? And not that saying that I'm a great guy, I don't have mistakes, my time management is amazing, I follow the deadlines. Oh, but still, so one of my key strengths is, or, what I say, you shouldn't stop here. Uh, Here we go to soft skills and see how we show it. Like, what sets me apart is what exactly? Like my communication, because it allowed me to bridge gaps between devs and designers on a cross-functional project. Yeah. So highlight the particular uh, opportunity that your strength gave you. I mean, in the past, or usually that gives you, like anyway. And here's a little fact on the scope that matters. You see, like sharing facts with you so much. I'm trying to recollect. Yeah, exactly. Harvard's Business Review found that candidates who share outcome driven stories, I mean, outcome driven, when I'm saying that, I mean that when you present the strength and you supply it with why you think it's your strength, how it helps you in your life. So that's 23% more likely to be remembered positively. So every time you sell yourself, aim for that sweet spot of skill, story, result. Skill, story, result. As we can see here, like one of my key strengths is writing a code, clean, maintainable code. Yeah. So what is it? It's actually a skill. Then a story. It helped me when I refactored legacy module with reduced bugs and made onboarding easier for new developers. Result, helped new developers. Yeah. What you did, so it made you, stand out among other people in the interview. Okay. And what did I do? Yeah, this one, exactly. Yeah. So this slide is all about two tricky moments in the interview. I want us to continue because I said 21 minutes. Amazing. Two tricky moments when you do not know what to answer at all, how to answer the question, or you are asked a question like, hey, why did you take a pause? Or why didn't you? I mean, that's straightforward, but let me tell you, like, why didn't you work among these 2 months or this half a year or anything? Yeah. So when you don't know an answer, yeah, let me walk you through it. First, nobody expects perfection. I know you heard about it, but let me tell you once again. If you're stumped, pause. I mean, if you don't know what to say, just pause and say something like you see here. So that's a great question. Just let me think about it for a second. It will be better than if you start just, speaking about everything that comes to your mind and like building blocks with the just useless information that actually is not that game changing for the recruiter or anyone. Yeah. Plus, additionally, with this phrase, it's like, I'm not sure, but here's how I'd approach finding a solution. So while pronouncing this phrase, you're buying yourself some time. You're buying some time while thinking of the question that you were asked. Also, additionally, the third phrase, this is what actually can be a game changer. And this phrase highlights the soft skill of active listening. So could you clarify, do you mean it in context, or did I understand you right that you mean paraphrase? So first of all, again, you will save some time, you will buy some time. And additionally, you will show the recruiter that you were listening and you are interested to get more context in order to give a more complex explanation of your idea. And the next one here is like, hey, why did you have gaps? I mean, the reasons might be clear, like a career break, freelance project, or just time off to recharge after a burnout. But again, we shouldn't panic here. You can just say like, during this period, I focused on freelance web work, building landing pages for startups or something like that. Or you can say that I took some time to upskill. I completed courses on architecture, on some solutions architecture, something like that. So, and here is also something interesting. From the survey from 2024. By the way, all these surveys that I mentioned, of course, I will share with you the links to them so you can double check. The survey in 2024 by Indeed, that was found that 67% of hiring managers respect candidates who use gaps for growth. So you can spin it positively and say, like, that gap helped me refocus on what matters in my career, help me understand what I want from my career, and help me understand what I want in my growing. So next time you hit a blank, you don't know what to say, or face this gap question, just treat it like a mini presentation. So your thought process, your curiosity, and your growth, your honesty and structure will leave much stronger impression than just, rushed, vague answers, because, if they ask me the question, that means that I have to answer it right now. I don't have time to think. No, you have. You do have. Okay. Now, I would ask you to reflect a bit and hear something from you. I'd ask you to type in the chat a phrase or a strange question that you were asked in the interview in your life. Maybe you have that great experience. I know that we have a lot to share, all of us. So what strange question you felt that was strange you were asked at the interview? I mean, there are no your managers here. You may share it with me. And no matter it is recorded. I just give you some time to think of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, while you're thinking, while you're typing, what car do you want to buy? Did they really ask you this question? And what did you answer? I mean, what was your answer? Now I'm interested, like, and what did you want to buy? Like, was it BMW i3 or something like that? You want, okay. And maybe that answer didn't fit their expectations. This is strange. Okay. I would love, Raban says, I would love to be asked a strange question so I can give an even stranger answer. Okay. I can share with you that that was like 5 years ago or something, that I was applying for an English teacher for teenagers, kids and teenagers, like 5, 6 years ago. Yeah, I was studying at university still. And they asked me the question, first of all, what's my favorite color? I mean, that's a regular question that I heard that so many times that is strange, but it's like, okay, that's yellow. And she was like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, yellow, it's a super positive color. I say, yeah, thank you. And the next question was like, with who would you like to have a dinner? And so I was like, with my boyfriend. And she was like, no, no, no. I mean, this celebrity, with what celebrity would you like to have a dinner this evening? And I told her, like, Till Lindemann from Rammstein. And she was like, why? Okay, why do you want to have a dinner with him? And I gave her a list of exactly why I wanted to meet him and what questions I'd like to ask him. But I'm not sure my answer was to her liking, but still that was great. So uh, yeah, I mean, the car question, the same as color question, the same as who do you want to dinner with this evening, the same. So it's just, I'm not sure it gives them anything about your soft skill or hard skill, just about your personal preferences, which actually doesn't mean not. not that much of the name in the real work when you are to start the real work. Okay. I love that one. Lovely. So actually, I want us to reflect because really 29 minutes, 55 seconds and more we've spent together. And actually, we spent together not only this 30 minutes, but 8 lessons. I mean, can you imagine that? And I would ask you to share in the chat or think about yourself. I mean, whether what are you proud of having practiced and learned? So maybe that something was useful for you to learn in this course. Maybe some interesting fact that you've learned, or anything, or maybe some phrase or word. I don't know. And the second question, if you like, what's your next goal for English at work? And whether you have any plans for English at work. Just asking. Want to see my birds leaving the mother's house, the nest, you know? And what are you gonna do with me without me? But still, whether you're writing in the charts, whether you are just sitting, listening to me and reflecting, I hope this experience was super positive for you, or at least positive, or at least just super. And you got many insights, whether how to speak about your hard skills, your tech stack, whether about your experience, your past, your future, present, like anything, anything. Okay. I see that Vova writes, sure. Here's an example of an English response to the 2 questions shown in the image one. I'm not sure what is, like, okay. I see that Vova says, my next goal is to expand my business vocabulary and feel more comfortable writing professional emails in English. Okay, lovely. I mean, this is actually a great skill that lots of people, for some reason, try to eliminate, I would say so, using these chat GPTs and so on and so forth. And if we think that professional emails are only about these phrases like, oh, I hope this email finds you well and best regards, it's not. So the really cool professional email must include not only like great vocabulary, which is also sure, but also you should take into account some cross-cultural communication styles. Yeah. So the real professional email, it's when you understand what tone you must use writing to your German colleague and writing to your Japanese colleague or some Asian colleague, doesn't matter, right? So this is what it means. And that's great. I mean, I love this goal. Okay. If anything else, I would be happy to comment on. If no, so okay, that's great. If you comment on, I will comment on too. Maybe in YouTube, maybe in Telegram chat. Now a comment. Okay, and of course, since we made it throughout 8 lessons, my congratulations, first of all, to me, because yeah, I did it, like 8 classes, woo! And to you, of course, because I mean, this is a great period of lifelong learning, but 1 month learning, yeah. And now imagine 6 months from now. So you walk into the interview room, you sit down, you speak English so confidently that the panel just leans in, takes notes, and smiles, and can be you. And that can be you. So, and here's how actually you can do it better. Because, you know, that's all that stuff that we practice with you, it's absolutely amazing. That, I mean, you had the opportunity, first of all, to hear real examples, stories, to get some feedback from me live or in the Telegram chat. But if we're speaking about the real practice that comes with the real speaking, right? It's like the Latin. Latin is that because nobody talks it. No, nobody at all. So we need to think forward and think how exactly we can implement our English to speaking. And by the way, here, with our team, I spoke about it like 2 times for sure, that we created the course for activity and students. I mean, because after the webinar, of course, you have the theoretical knowledge, but you need to practice them somehow, right? So we created the course that has actually 2 plans. So first of all, the pro plan, that is twice a week, you will join a 60-minute live lessons sessions where we dig into real AT scenarios. No fluff, just practice, as you saw in these sessions, you see. And you will get polished slides, homework that feels like mini challenge you actually want to finish, and your own dashboard, of course, to track everything, like from the victory to not complete homework sometimes, but anyway, from mastering new phrasal verbs to landing that wow phrase in your interview answer. And of course, here's some premium plans, because you get everything in the Pro. Plus, 2 can't miss extra. I want to say it in these words. Firstly, our weekly speaking clubs that we call Paspikamo, where you will chat with peers, with colleagues on real projects. So English stops feeling like a test and starts feeling like a tool that you actually use for networking and for real communication. And the second, of course, the business English video course. That is called How To, packed with, this insider phrases that hiring managers love to hear. And by the way, Boba, you told us about the professional emails on business vocabulary. Think about it, okay? Yeah. And yeah, of course, the special bonus and everything. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a sales manager. That's why I will not give you the details about the price and the discount. But you will be able to go to a free trial lesson, because our manager will send you the link so you can register and try it out for free, whether you like it or not. I mean, why not? And additionally, they will inform you about the discount, again, only for activity and students. So I will highlight that seats in these courses are limited to 6 people each. I mean, to 6 people in one group. And you need to be ready to turn your English from just okay into your secret career weapon. And click the link now in the Telegram chat. I hope it will be soon there. So yeah. Okay. And do you have any questions about anything? Like about this ones? I will wait for a second, so you have time to type. Okay. If no, it's still no. Okay. If no, I want to say thank you for being present in the sessions. And if you're watching it recorded, thank you too for listening and for this life learning approach. Appreciate it. And I don't say goodbye. I say like, see you when I see you, and hope to see you soon. That was a pleasure, guys. Yeah, that was a real pleasure. Thank you so much. So see you.